Okay, let us start with one chapter which we already started yesterday, that was ratio analysis. What we have learned until now is ratio analysis is one such kind of a topic wherein we will be more focused on analyticals, we'll be more focused on comparisons, we will be more focused on understanding the true position of a financial statement. Obviously financial statement is made for an entity or a company, so basically we are going to understand deeply how a company has been performing or how a business has been performing, right? In order to understand that particular thing, we have seen few things, that there is a concept called ratio. Ratio is nothing but comparison of one number of a financial statement with another number of a financial statement majorly, right? Obviously you can also measure you can also calculate ratios with the numbers which are not in financial statements also. Okay, but from the examination perspective, the ratios are being divided broadly into four categories, right? First one is solvency ratio. Solvency ratio is how cash rich a business is. How, I'm not saying profit rich, how cash is rich a business is. Now let us take one example. I'm just revising what we did yesterday. Let us take an example of Paytm as a company. 197 Communication Limited is the owner of Paytm, right? Paytm brand and everything. So now if you look about 197 Communication has a very good cash flow. Why is that? Because so many people transact, so many people maintain wallet balances with Paytm, right? So because of that, they have good cash reserves they are sitting on. But do they have profits at the same time? Answer is no. Correct. And that's why if you are a stock enthusiast, you would see the Paytm stocks has gone down more than 60% from the price of their listing. So that means such a big hit in terms of the prices they have taken as a company. But at the same point of time, do they have any problems in meeting out their short term liabilities? I don't think so. There is any problem with them in meeting out their short term liabilities, because they always have customer advances with them. Yes or no? So they have a current liabilities more than their current assets. Are we able to understand that situation? Yes. So that would be a very few company wherein, that would be a one of a very few company wherein the current liabilities would be more than current assets. Otherwise, majorly most of the companies will have their current assets more than current liability. Now talking about current liability, we already spoke yesterday. We already spoke yesterday regarding the parts of P&L and balance sheet. I believe I have it right here. Have you spoken about the parts of P&L and balance sheet? Yes. Now we also spoke majorly the ratios will be divided into this 4-5 parts only, right? So profit and loss account was there. In that profit and loss account also we divided into few parts of cost of production, of cost other than production, distribution of reserve, revenue from operation, revenue other than operations, transfer of reserves, right? Similarly, we have one major financial statement which was called as liability. Oh, sorry, which is called as balance sheet. So, balance sheet is again further divided into liabilities and assets. So, liabilities has three parts, that is owner's fund, non-current liability, and current liability. And then on the right hand side, we have non-current assets and current assets. Further, we understood the whole of the financial management course curriculum is nothing but understanding the P&L and balance sheet, and for each and every item they have given a chapter for us to understand, right? So now going forward, we understood what is a solvency ratio, right? Yes, we also understood that Paytm might be very good in meeting out their short term, meeting out their what, short term commitments, right? Even though they are not profitable, I don't think so they are going to face a position of wherein they are not able to meet their short term commitment. What is short term commitment? Making payments to their, making payments of salaries, rent, all other short commitment, interest payments of CC loans, everything they would be easily able to do. But what they will face difficulty is making their long term payment commitments, right? Because what all the major sources of cash for them is customer advances, but customer advances are of short term nature, so you can utilize them to make your short term payments, right? But that cannot be utilized for them by you in order to make a long term payments. How many of you agree with this, right? Yes. Done. right? So we have solvency ratio, then we have activity ratio, right? So what is activity ratio? Understanding each item of a balance sheet against a relative term, against a relative term. Understand, when I talk about inventory turnover, I have to talk about turnover in terms of their cost. When I talk about debtor, I have to talk about credit sales. Whenever I talk about creditors, I have to talk about purchases. Not maybe the ratio name would be creditor turnover, right? So you will say turnover means sales. No, again relevance, emphasis over the actuals. So what is related to creditors? Not sales but purchases, right? So similarly you will have activity ratio, and the last and the most important one was profitability ratio. Are we actually profitable? We might have cash crunches, we might have ratios not suitable to us, but are we profitable or not is a major benchmark. So most used ratio is net profit ratio, then again gross profit ratio, coverage ratios, everything will be covered over here. Are we all good? Now in order to give you an understanding how ratios can help you take you, or how ratios would be able to help you in order to understand the whole business, right? We'll play a small video by which automatically your analytical part of your brain should work and understand, okay, that particular business in which is being spoken about in the video, whether it is good or bad. Okay, yes, and with that analysis of the ratio, you might further would be able to analyze, okay, why there is a certain kind of a problem with this business. That all we will discuss. So this class is going to require more of analyticals, but that we will do after we solve one problem in the ratios, so that we get a little hands on how do we solve it, right? So suppose that there were so many formulas, current assets, quick assets and all that stuff, that ratios respectively, instead of learning it now as and when as a theoretical format, I would prefer to teach you in a, when we do the problems, because automatically I have given you broader concept of how the ratios will be derived. Yes or no? That broader concept of how the ratios will be derived, I have mentioned in my last ratio sheet, which is given to you in the papers, which is on page number 9 I believe. That is ABC to XYZ ratio is equal to what? ABC divided by XYZ. Can somebody tell me, based on our yesterday's discussion, which hybrid is this? Which hybrid is this? We don't know. So what is happening? The first appearing item is coming in the, so it is kind of a single hybrid ratio. But if suppose you are able to identify where the items belong, right? Whether it is coming to P&L and balance sheet, first step. Second step, if you are able to further identify, saying that okay, one is from P&L and one is from balance sheet, then you will say one has to be variable, one has to be constant, right? And then you will apply a universal formula that variable will be in the numerator and constant would be in the denominator, and that is how you we said we will derive our formulas if in case we are not exactly able to find out what the formula for that. Correct? Are we all good? Yes. With this, let us first do once two theoretical problems, and then we'll move on to the practical problems as such, right? Now Joseph, discuss any three ratios computed for investment analysis, right? In order to do investment analysis, what three ratios we should take into account? Please tell me, sir. First one, investment, right? It could be so many ratios which we can understand, but how to make an investment into the business? Do you want to know, if I make an investment, how much would I get? Yes or no? Please don't look at the answers as of now, right? Anna, make it mine only me. Yes, please. Yes, please understand. Whenever you are making an investment as an investor, what is important for you? Tell me, as an investor, what is important for you? Correct? Sorry, I'm not able to get you. Maximization of wealth. Okay, right? ठीक है. So what is your primary focus? Maximization of wealth. पैसे maximum मिलने चाहिए, right? What could be the even more further way of doing it? Maximization of wealth. Then that is a long term part. But immediately what do you see? Profit. Whether whatever the investment which I am making, is it a profitable or non profitable? Yes or no? Am I making sense? Yes. So in the similar pattern, this is also, there is one more requirement, or in order to find out whether I'm making, whether the company where I'm making an investment, whether it is making profits or not. What do you see as a first ratio? EPS, earning per share. Yes. Return on capital employed, ROC. Yes. Or it could be ROI, return on investments, right? And then even though there is company has an earnings, but it is also important for you to see whether company has dividends also. Company might be a huge profitable company like Microsoft, but until very recently they have never paid out dividends. So the only way for a shareholder to earn by investing in the Microsoft share is by capital appreciation. Matlab the share prices goes up and you sell it to somebody else. That was the only one way in order to earn. But if you look at Coromandel, how many of you have heard of a company by the name Coromandel? How many of you have heard a company by the name NMDC, State Bank of India, right? ONGC. These are all PSU companies. That means what? Government companies. And they pay out dividend very regularly. Yes. And you don't ask me why government companies are paying out regularly, because government needs income. Correct? So then if you wish a regular income without selling off your investment, so you should also see whether the company is paying dividend or not. Earnings become important because dividend cannot be paid without earnings. Dividend become important because even though you have a earnings, you should have a track record of paying out dividends, right? And overall, how much return you are generating is also very important. Yes. So you invested 100 crores and you are getting only 1 lakh rupees of dividend. Again, it doesn't make sense. Ultimately, you found out the company is barely making, it is a profitable company, but very less profits. So then return on capital employed is also a very important calculation. Are we all good? Yes. So that is what this three theoretical ratio. This is what the three theoretical ratios, that is earning per share, profit after tax divided by number of equity shares outstanding, dividend yield ratio, that is equity dividend per share divided by market price per share. Yes, that means what is yield? Please understand, sir, this is a very important terminology which I believe most of you would not understand. This is, they doesn't say how much dividend per share. Have you used a word called dividend per share? Yes, if it is dividend per share, what you will simply do? Dividend, total dividend divided by number of outstanding shares, as you do it for equity, EPS. Correct? What he says, yield. Yield ante enti amma? Okay. Can I take 5 minutes out and discuss what is an yield? Sure, right? Maybe it is little extra for this current stage, but still it is a basic concept. Are you able to get what I'm going to teach? Might be there in the CA final and might be there a little bit in the CA inter, especially when you go to a chapter called bond valuation, not James Bond. Na? Like you have shares, you also have bonds. So there is a concept called bond valuation in next level. Do you want to study that level? Yes, na? Will you study that level? See, there is a difference between both the questions. No? Do you want to study? Everybody wants. Human wants are unlimited. CA Foundation. Right? Will you study? Depends on your CA inter result. Yes or no? Am I not? Am I not correct? Yeah, I'm very much correct. Say. So if you want to study, then you have to again. If you want to again come back to me in CA final, you have to clear through your CA inter first. Okay. So okay. Sometimes, like suppose I've actually stopped doing this, but I don't know how many would have faced this question by somebody else. Like generally earlier when there was some time value of money, and when we do capital budgeting, there is a concept called discounting, discounted cash flows and all that stuff. So there is a more application of time value of money. Okay, so you have to discount, you have to find out present values, future values, and all whatnot. If suppose students were not able to do, what is the obvious question we'll ask? Who was your faculty in CA Foundation? You see, all heads go nodding, yes or no. And if you are able to perform well, you will proudly tell the name. If you are not able to perform well, you will, like an ostrich, you will hide your head, right? So simply, if suppose in the CA final, I'm not teaching you SFM, and somebody asks you a basic concept of CA Inter, so at least I want you to take my name with proud. Okay. So with that particular part, I will just give you a simple example, right? There is a 9% debenture. You know what is a debenture? Huh? Yes, a 9% debenture at face value 100. Yes, trading at a current market price of 90. Possible? Possible? A debenture was issued 4 5 years back at 100 rupees face value. After 4 5 years, because of change in the inflation, change in the interest rate, change in the repo rates, and change in the market, the price of the debenture has gone down. So now, if you want to purchase that share, you can purchase it for 90 rupees. Same goes with equity shares also. No? A company issues shares at higher value, and over a period of time, if the shares find its actual value or the fair value. Okay? The thing happened with Paytm, right? And Paytm का जला LIC भी फूक फूक के पीता है. So that also happened with LIC. That is a very something which I have ever thought of not happening. Policy holders were issued a 60 rupees discount. I don't know how many of you track share market, but I will tell you the listing price of the LIC was higher than, or was at a discount more than 60. So all those policy holders who took up the LIC IPO saying that ये 60 रुपए का discount मिल रहा है, they ultimately faded away. The discount also went off and they ended up in losses. So that's why it is very 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 important for all of us to understand the fair value, and that's why my subject comes top. Okay. So rest all the subjects are very important, but my subject is not only important but will also give you your livelihood. So that's the difference. Now 9% debenture face value 100, current market price 90. Now the problem here is I have to discuss only two concepts. What do you mean by this 9%? What is the terminology which you use? There is one simple terminology which we use for this 9%. Can you tell me? Interest is okay, but there is a terminology which we use generally. Script. This is a script. The whole script. Suppose if this is listed on a stock exchange, on an exchange, okay. If suppose this 9% debenture is listed on an exchange and the price in the exchange is showing as 90, the whole thing put together, the appearance of whole thing, like suppose Reliance Industries Limited is been displayed at RIL. So that is called as a script. It might be a debenture of suppose say Tata Motors. So it might be written as debenture TML, Tata Motors Limited. So that is a script, right? So my question is, what is this 9% technically called? Tell me. Yes. Yes. This is technically called as coupon. Yes. Have you heard of this term earlier? Huh, sir. We use coupons every time now. Whenever we book a online reservation, ticket booking, every time we scout for what? Coupon. We go to Coupon Dunia, we go to Dunia Coupon, we go to Go Coupon, we go to XYZ Coupon. For 1 hour, for a 1 minute transaction on online, we spend 1 hour in order to find out the right coupons, right? Yes or no? We actually value our time less than the value of our coupon. So I've seen so many people, and I should be very open to even accept it. Even earlier, me as a person also was looking for coupons, and ultimately I realized, arey yaar, I found out a 200 rupees discount for a product of 10,000, but is my 1 hour which I spent in scouting 100 websites, trying everything, was worth 200 rupees? So that is a different discussion altogether. But this 9% is called as coupon, right? But as an investor that day, when this debentures was issued, my returns were how much? 9%, right? So I was getting coupon return. Then my coupon and yield were same. My coupon and yield were same. But suppose a new investor comes in, one of a student from this class, and comes up to me and says, sir, yeah, sir, being an FM faculty, you made a loss. Please sell this instrument to me, at least you will get 90 rupees. Otherwise, tomorrow you will get only 85, and day after tomorrow 80. And if suppose there is a COVID 2.0, then you will get 0. So better give it to me in today. So I said, ठीक है ना, thank you, please. You have given me a big relief by purchasing this particular debenture from me. So this guy purchased this debenture for 90. So his cost was only 90 rupees, whereas my cost was 100. On 100 I was getting 9%. On 100 I was getting 9%. So my yield was 9, but this guy will get 9% on 90 or 100. He will get it on 100, correct? So he will still get a return of 9. Yes or no? Will still get a return of how much? 9. How many of you are with me? Company is going to reduce the interest on 9% on 90 or 100. Company job is over as soon as debenture was issued. Yes, Vijay Shekhar Sharma job was over as soon as IPO, Paytm IPO was subscribed. Now you do whatever you want. I am not concerned. Okay. So similar manner. Even I am an investor in Paytm. Okay, I am so don't take it otherwise. So my 9% will come on what? 90 or 100? 100 only. Company has to pay whatever they have agreed the terms on the day of issuance. Okay, so I am going to get 9 on 90. So what my student yield is 9 by 90. So his yield is 10%. But for him, even today, the coupon is 9%. He is having a coupon of 9%, whereas his yield is 10%. It could be other way around also. If suppose he purchased a 100 rupees debenture at 110, then yield might go down. Are we all okay with the concept of coupon and yield? If suppose this word comes up in the question somewhere, you will not get, ये तो पढ़ाया ही नहीं था, out of book, out of syllabus. You will not say this, right? ठीक है? Write down. Put an heading, concept of coupon and yield. Concept of coupon and yield. Are we all good? Done? Concept of coupon and yield. Or you can say coupon versus yield. All of you like PUBG, right? So you like the word versus rather than and. ठीक है? So coupon versus yield. ठीक है? This small topics, small discussions will keep on happening. ठीक है? No problem. So the first topic of today's class is coupon versus yield. So what is a coupon? Coupon which is there on the face. Coupon is something which is agreed. Yield is something which you get. Write down. Coupon is something which you agree. Coupon is something which you agree. Coupon is something which you agree. Yield is something which you actually get. Yes, yield is something which you actually get or actually yield. हिंदी में एक पुरानी कहावत है, ठीक है, जो बोया है वही काटोगे. द इंग्लिश ट्रांसलेशन वुड बी you will reap what you saw. ठीक है? So what you will reap, you will yield. Yes, your yield would be what you saw. ठीक है? So that's why yield is a very synonymous word. What you actually get is called as yield, right? That's why they use a terminology of yield more frequently in agriculture. How much is per hectare yield? That means how much is actual production which is happening. Yes, you might have an estimate. Arey sir, 1 acre mein I will have this much production. Every month I will have a different crop. 12 crop. Ultimately, you will not be able to have one proper crop in a year. So, coupon versus yield. Done? Yes, please write down this example. 9% debenture with face value 100, currently trading at market price of 90. So 9% debenture represent a coupon. yield would be nothing but 9 divided by 90. Done. ठीक है. Yes. Now let us look at ये पूरा discussion किस लिए हुआ? Dividend yield ratio. How do you calculate dividend yield ratio? How much you are actually getting equity dividend per share divided by what they are doing, market price. Why market price? They should do face value, na? They should do face value. Why market price? Because the word is yield. How much they actually get? I will purchase share at today's price, na? I purchase Paytm at 500. Somebody purchase Paytm at 2000. ठीक है? Company is giving 5 rupees. My yield is 5 divided by 500. The other person yield is 5 divided by 2000. Correct? Are we able to understand? That's why market price per share. So what is the current yield? Current market price. General question will come. What would be general question? What is the current yield? So what would be current yield? Current dividend divided by current market price. Done. So these are the three theoretical questions. So you will see, sir, theoretical questions, even though it is of 3 lines, explanation goes for at least more than 3 pages. Practical question, if it is for 1 page, the answer will go in half page. Sometimes, especially in FM. If it is accounts, it is other way around. Okay. Now there are again very few simple questions. Discuss the financial ratios for evaluating company performance on operating efficiency and liquidity position aspect. Right? What is efficiency means? Yes, what is an English meaning of the word efficiency? Yes. How? I'm not an English faculty, but how well you are performing is called effectiveness. How perfect you are doing the work is called effective working. Okay. Now you will judge my teaching not based on efficiency. अरे सर 1 घंटे में 50 प्रॉब्लम कर दिए, that is called efficiency. Efficiency is related to time. ठीक है. Effectiveness is related to how clear I am, how better you are understanding. That is called what? Effectiveness. So I as a teacher should not be only efficient but effective, or you can say effective come first. Are we able to understand here? So now what he says, operational efficiency. Now what do you mean by operational business? How operational business we do? Like suppose what is operational efficiency? We committed you time 7 to 10:30, 7 to 10:30. It should not be like 8 o'clock I am coming, 9 o'clock you are coming, 10 o'clock I am running out, 9:45 you run out. Is that an efficient way of doing it? No, na. So that's how the things has to be understood. What is there? Operational efficiency, right? How targeted manner in a rigid time frame we are able to complete the operational efficiency, or we are able to complete a work, that is called operational efficiency. Let's understand. Financial ratios for evaluating performance on operational efficiency and liquidity position aspects are discussed as operating efficiency ratio analysis throw light on the degree of efficiency in the management and utilization of its asset. The various activity ratios such as turnover ratios measure this kind of operational efficiency. The ratios are employed to evaluate the efficiency with which the firm manages and utilizes its asset. For a business, when you will call it as an efficient business, when they effectively use their assets, right? When they effectively use their assets, right? Are we all good? Then these ratios are employed to evaluate the efficiency with which the firm manages and utilizes its asset. This ratio usually indicates the frequency of sales with respect to its assets. That is basically activity ratio. These assets may be capital assets or working capital or average inventory. In fact, the solvency of a firm is the ultimate analysis depended upon the sales revenue generated by use of its assets as well as its components. Okay? So that is what he says ki how better you are able to use optimum utilization of your assets, basically he terms as operational efficiency. Liquidity position, we know how better we are able to meet out our short term long term liabilities of cash. So with the help of ratio analysis, one can draw conclusions regarding liquidity position of a firm. The liquidity position of a firm would be satisfactory if it is able to meet its current obligation when they become due. Very important line, sir, and that is what you have to underline. Liquidity position of a firm is satisfactory when it is able to meet its current obligation whenever it becomes due. Suppose I have to make a vendor payment tomorrow and I makes it in tomorrow's date. I'm efficient. Liquidity problem solved. Suppose vendor kept on calling, hey, paise de, paise de, paise de, paise de, and I don't have money and I'm giving every time new excuse. Today somebody died, today bank closure, today bank manager mother died, as if he was supposed to make you the payment. So if that kind of excuses are coming up, that means you are not liquid. So suppose if you have a friend, हर एक friend जरूरी होता है, and friend comes to you in the need of hour, ठीक है, and he says, please help me, I need 50,000, 1 lakh, or in your case 500, 1,000, something, I have to take my girlfriend on date, she said yes, at least 1,000 rupees dinner bill will come. So in that scenarios, what is going to happen generally? You will pay them, ठीक है, because you are in a better liquid position. He said, I will pay you in 5 days, 4 days, 1 day, 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours. Because they themselves don't know when they can pay. So they will give you the shortest possible time so that at least you pay them. Now, so when you go for recovery, who are you? First of all, 10 times you call, they will answer 1 time, and that too 1 time they will say, I will call you back, I'm in an urgent meeting. Okay. So that is what it shows your liquidity position. So if you are able to meet your commitments, obligation whenever it is due, it is okay, satisfactory. Otherwise, non-satisfactory. Inability to pay off short-term liabilities affects its credibility. Very important, underline. If you don't pay, okay, on time, can you expect a credit later? And if suppose the friend who has given is very shrewd person, he will go to each and every common mutual friend. This person has not paid me. Never ever try to even think of him as a good debtor. ठीक है, पहले पैसे कभी नहीं देना. As well as his credit rating. Okay, उसकी rating भी खराब हुई. Continuous defaults on the part of the business leads to commercial bankruptcy. Yes, commercial bankruptcy. ठीक है भैया, पैसे नहीं है, जो करना है कर ले. Don't call me 100 times a day. I don't have money. I am filing for commercial bankruptcy. Yes. Yes. Just to give you a small example, I don't know how many of you follow the news also. So there was a recent judgment in the favor of Jack Sparrow. How many of you know Pirates of Caribbean? Yeah, you know everything. So Johnny Depp won the case against his beloved wife. Okay, and he won $15 million as a case settlement, right? 10 crores against compensated damages, 5 crores against 5 million, wait, 10 million, 5 million against defamation charges of compensatory punitive. Now the problem here is his wife, the maximum net worth is 8 million. She has got a liability of 15 million. What she has to do? Either she will go to the creditor. Who is the creditor? Johnny Depp. Anna, I have to pay you. Now from husband, you cannot say again husband. It is already done. I have to pay you. I don't have money. I will pay you in installments. So he should agree. There has to be some settlement, and that is how it has to go. Otherwise, simple bankrupt. I don't have money. file for a bankruptcy. US laws very much provide for anybody who can file for a bankruptcy can go for file for a bankruptcy. So in that case, what will happen is all the assets will be liquidated. It will be paid off all to all the creditor in their order of payment, and everybody is happy. Yes, but obviously that would be a reputational damage, right? So that is when you use bankruptcy or as a tool to come out of a situation where your liabilities are more than your assets. Okay. Eventually, such commercial bankruptcy may lead to sickness and dissolution. Liquidity ratios are current ratio, liquid ratios, and cash to current liability ratio. Even in the case of Johnny Depp's wife, also, it is not that she is not profitable. She makes good profit. But what is the problem with her? Hmm? Not enough cash. Liquidity position is not there. Okay. These ratios are particularly useful in credit analysis by banks and other suppliers on short-term loan basis. Are we all good? Okay. Practical problems. Now we are going to a practical problem section. I believe we have a very good understanding of what ratios can result into. Let's see how practically we will be also able to do it. Let's look at the first problem and then we'll start with this solving of this problem. This is the first problem directly copy pasted from your study material. In a meeting held at Solon towards the end of 2009, the directors of HPCL Limited have taken a decision to diversify. At present, HPCL Limited sells all finished goods from its own warehouse. Right? HPCL is Hindustan Petroleum Corporation Limited. Right? So they are selling all everything from their own warehouse. The company issued debentures on 1/1/2010 and purchase fixed assets on the same day. The purchase price has remained stable during the concerned period. So purchase price has stayed. There is no change in the purchase prices. Everything is okay. They issued debentures on 1/1. Now what they are supposed to ask us? First, they are giving information. They have given P&L and balance sheet. So they have given the whole P&L, sales, purchases, everything. They have given sales 3 lakhs for 2009. 2009 it is 3 lakh 74. Again, cost of goods sold again 236, 298. Gross profit is there. Again, expenses you minus and then you will find out net profit. Then you have balance sheet, that is fixed assets, current assets, right? And then you have working capital, current liabilities, and then you have your liabilities and owner's capital. So it has come. It is in vertical format, but balance sheet components are same. Correct? If you wish, I can still tell you the balance sheet component. It is what? Revenues from operation, RFOR, RFO. Then this is what? Expenditure from operation. Yes, this is expenditure other than operations. Then you have this profit. Correct. Similarly, non-current assets, current asset, current liabilities, non-current liabilities, and owner's equity or owner's fund. Yes or no? Yes, we are easily able to bifurcate the whole part. Now let's see what they are asking us. You are required to calculate the following ratios for the year 2009. Okay. Gross profit ratio, operating expenses to sales ratio, operating profit ratio, capital turnover ratio, stock turnover ratio, net profit to net worth ratio, and debtors collection period. Are we all good here? Ratio relating to capital employed should be based on the capital at the end of the year. So he has clearly said all the ratios which are related to capital employed, you take the capital at the end of the year, that is at the end of 2010 and 2009 respectively. Assuming the opening stock is 40,000 for which year? 2009. What is the opening stock for 2010? Closing of 2009 becomes opening of 2000. So you are able to complete the chain also, right? Are we all good? Can we start solving this problem with your permission? Yes, Ajo sir. For seeing the numbers, I have a printout for my own self. Okay, so that I can see the numbers. Let's start. Answer 1A basically. This is 1A, right? Yes. Is this 1A? Alright. You have so many ways of doing it, right? but I prefer to present the answer in such a manner that, see, this is what psychology is. Whatever you want, if it is available at the earliest possible time with minimum effort, are you happy? Yes or no? Same thing goes for the examiners also. At the end of the day, they are also who? Humans. Now in this problem, simply for 2 years you are supposed to calculate some 5 ratios or 7 ratios, whatever. Done. If you give them on the face, so what they have to do, take the marking scene, gross profit ratio 2009, this matched marks, this matched marks. Obviously, in order to get that number, you have to do a background working, but it is 90% presumed that if your final answer is correct, your workings would also have been correct. Okay. So for his own satisfaction, he can go back to workings and check. Are we all good? Otherwise, he can do, just look at the answers, give the marks, happy. Yes or no? So your presentation in the examination should be also focused on the same thing, that you have to provide him what he requires as soon as possible with the least effort. Yes or no? Yes. Take. So how should we do it in the least effort? Simple. Do it like this, as I'm doing it for this example, this problem. Computation of ratios. Okay. Write down, guys. What is the first item? This is 2009. What is the first ratio they have asked us? What is the first ratio they have asked us? First one? Gross profit. Can somebody tell me the formula for this, please? Apply cross hybrid. Is it a cross hybrid? Is it a cross hybrid? No. What it is? Single hybrid. Why? Gross profit is a number from P&L, and obviously profitability ratios are mostly related to sales. This is also related to sales. So gross profit divided by sales. Very good. Single hybrid, first come first. So gross profit is written first. So we'll take it in numerator divided by sales. Is the sales directly related to gross profit, or do we have to do any adjustment to the constant? Constant is still the denominator. That fundamental principle is not changing. Okay. So do we have to do? Is it directly related? Yes, sir. It is directly related. Okay. Okay, guys. Now, if we see, there is this practical problem which we are doing, and now the first ratio is gross profit ratio. So likewise, he has given multiple ratios which we are supposed to find out: gross profit ratio, operating expenses, operating profit, and capital turnover ratio. Gross profit is simple: gross profit divided by sales, right? And now if you have done, if you are coming from an accounts background, so you know what is gross profit, right? total revenue minus your direct expenses. As per accounting, gross profit is an accounting term. In financial management there is no term as called gross profit. We have a term called contribution but not gross profit. Yes, right. But can you say gross profit as the contribution as an operating expense, or sorry, operating profit? No. Yes, because the classification of expenses in the accounts and financial management is altogether different, right? In the accounts, you classify the expenditures based on the relatability to the sales. Certain expenditures are directly related to the sales, you call that as direct expenses, like raw material. Okay. Certain expenses are not directly related to the sales, like rent for the office. Yes, you put that as an indirect expense. But when you come to the FM, expense is an expense, outflow is an outflow. FM is based on cash flows, whereas the accounts is based on accrual concept majorly. So they are more concerned what has incurred, what is about to be incurred, for how much period it was supposed to be. So period is very important in accounts, but when we come to FM, it is only the cash flow, right? So now what happens is gross profit you will be easily able to calculate, no challenge at all. No challenge at all in calculating the gross profit. Only thing where you will find challenge is operating expense, because just now we saw that the cost of production and cost of cost operating expenses and other than operating expenses, we classified this operating expenses, right? And then other than operating expenses, when we saw that bigger chart, when we did the balance sheet, so what, how we have classified our balance sheet? Revenues, operating expenses, other than operating expenses, and then distribution of profit. But this profit and loss account which is there, this income statement is not made in that format. That this is been made in the format of accounting. This is made in the format of accounting. So operating expenses are above gross profit and as well as below gross profit, right? So here this is one small learning which you will have. As per financial management, EBIT, earning before interest and tax, is nothing but operating profit. Fixed cost plus variable cost is nothing but operating expense. Now if we solve this problem here, so here we will have operating expense. When he asks us operating expense, we will take all expenses except finance expenses. That means except interest. Are we all good? Right, come down, sir. Right, right down. First ratio, gross profit ratio. All the profit ratios are generally in percentages, so we multiply gross profit divided by sales. Gross profit divided by sales. Can you tell me how much, what are the values for 2009? Can you tell me what are the values for 2009? Yes, how much is my gross profit here? 64,000. Yes, is it 64,000 divided by total sales 3 lakhs? 64,000 divided by 3 lakh is into 100. Tell me the answer. 21.33%. Yes, are we all good? Right, right. Now let's come to the next one, sir. 2010. 2010. How much is my gross profit? Please look from your handouts. You have 76,000. How much is the total sales? 3 lakh 74,000 into 100. Please tell me the answer. That would be 20.3%. Next ratio, operating expense ratio. When we go forward into this chapter, you will have dedicated problem to find out operating expense. Yes. Now, as of now, what is my operating expense? Only if you just look at the question, what would be my operating expense? What would be my operating expense? Only cost of goods sold or other expenses also, that is warehousing, transport, administration, selling, all including except this interest on debenture. Except this interest on debenture. Why, sir? In that table, in the balance sheet which we have made ourselves, there we were taken operating and non-operating. You might get confused, or I'm just trying to show it again. Cost of production operations, cost other than productions or operations. So here basically we refer to which cost? Finance cost, right? Yes, right? Or else you should have the capability of dividing it further. What is operating expense in our case? Sir, we have to calculate how much it will be. 49,000 would be my operating expense. See here, see here, 13 plus 6 plus 19. You leave cost of production. What is my actual operating expenses which I am incurring from the accounts part? 19 plus 6, yes, 49,000 plus 11, because interest on expenditure is not. So you have 49,000. So that is my actual operating expense apart from cost of production. Yes, into 3 lakhs into 100. Similarly, in the next problem, 57,000. Just calculate it yourself. Except 2,000, take add everything. 14 plus 14, 28, 28, 38, 47, 57 by 3,74,000, right? So it should be operating expense sales into 100. Next one, sir, operating profit, that is EBIT. So what should be your operating profit? That net profit which they have given, or you have to add back the interest into it? Yes, look here, sir. How much is my operating profit here? 15,000. Yes, add back interest 0. So what is my operating profit? 15,000. Are we all good? Yes. So why we are adding interest, sir? Because interest is not an operating expense. So operating profit ratio, that is operating profit by sales into 100. 15,000 plus 0 divided by sales 3 lakhs. Again, here it is how much in the next problem? 17,000 plus interest on debentures 2,000 divided by 3,74,000 into 100. 5.08, right? capital turnover ratio. Cross hybrid. Cross hybrid means what? One item is from balance sheet, one other item is from P&L. Above three ratios a simple single hybrid. First appearing item by the second appearing item. So what is the P&L item here? Turnover, right? So that should be sales divided by capital. Now the question is, what is capital? Only the equity portion or equity including reserves? Sir, reserves belongs to whom? Equity. And reserves is nothing but the accumulation of profit over the years. Correct? And you are able to generate current profit of 15,000 because you had accumulated profits. Yes or no? If suppose you had only equity of 75,000 which is given over here, if you have only equity of suppose say 75,000 but without retained earning, would you be able to earn the same 15,000? Obviously no, right? Because your accumulated profits help you to generate more and more and more growth. That is a concept of retained earning. Higher the retained earning, higher would be the growth, higher would be the future profit. So when I talk about capital, do I have to include reserves as also the part of equity? Reserves as also the part of owner's equity? Very much yes. Very much yes. So please tell me, sir, what should be the ratio here? Sales by capital. That capital includes equity, right? Do I have to mine into 100? You have, am I supposed to do? Not required. So that would be how much, sir? 3 lakh, that is turnover, divided by 75k plus 25k is equal to 3. Right? Right? Yes or no? Not distributed capital, not distributed profit is also my fund, na? So my capital, I will take only 75 or 1 lakh today. At that initial time it was 75, but now it is how much? Reserves is mine. I can distribute dividends from the past reserves. You only told me. So it is my profit now. So now if you are calculating my capital turnover ratio, you are making 3 lakh rupees sales. If suppose this 25,000 was not available to you, whether your sales would be 3 lakhs? No, it would be lower. Obviously, na. In the first year, the sales would have been lower. The first year you made profit, that profit will again reinvested in the business, your sales increased. Yes or no? That is how business will work. Business कैसे काम करता है? How does the business work? You do some business, you make a profit, in reinvest that profit into the business, the sales will grow. Again you will make some profit, again you will reinvest, sales will grow. Yes or no? So now the 3 lakh rupees of sales is because of 75,000 rupees capital or 75 plus 25,000. Am I making this point very clear? So when I talk about capital, should I take the accumulated reserves also into my picture? Yes? Yes or no? So it should be what? Total capital. So that should be here in this first case is 1 lakh. That is 3. By giving 1 rupee to the business, I am rotating the money 3 times. So 3 turnover. Next one. Now same. Please give me a formula here. How much will it will be? Divided by वही अपने capital. He said, have you used the word equity capital or debt capital? He has used the word capital. That means total capital ना. आप कैपिटल मतलब सारा पैसा खुद का ही समझते हो, तुम्हारी मेंटालिटी पैसे डुबाने वालों की है. अरे किसी बंदे ने आप पे भरोसा करके आपको लोन दिया और आप, अरे उसका पैसा थोड़ी ना, मेरा पैसा है. सो यू आर एज गुड एज योर फ्रेंड हु डजंट पे योर मनी बैक. Next one. Stock turnover ratio. Again, is it a cross hybrid, single hybrid? Cross means what? Variable by constant. That is obviously fundamentally there. What is a variable P&L? What is P&L? Turnover by stock. Yes, but related. So total sales of 3 lakhs should be taken. Stock is at profit. Stock is at cost or selling price. Stock value which is given in the balance sheet. There is some stock value which is given in the balance sheet of 50,000 rupees. 50, 60. Hmm. The stock value which is given of 60,000 rupees, right? Is this value at cost basis or selling price basis? So even sales is at selling price or cost? Sales number is selling price or cost? So you have to bring this sales to cost basis. So what should be my formula? Cost of goods sold divided by stock. Right? Have you understood the numerator? Because the stock is on the basis of cost. Now come to stock. Right? Is stock a fixed number or a rotating number? Rotating. So you should take one number, you should take closing value or you should take average. Average. And one more information is given in the question which makes it clear that you have to take an average. Opening stock of 2009 is given, otherwise why question will give you opening stock of 2009? समझो मेरी बात को. Why question will give you opening stock of 2009? If suppose the opening stock of 2009 is not given, then what you will do? No option, will take closing stock only. But he gave the opening stock, that means he wants to take average stock, right? So take average stock. Yes. So what is cost of goods sold divided by 40,000? How much it will be? Again come down. Next one. 2,98,000 divided by 60,000. So that would be how much? What is the denominator? Can somebody tell me? 60, 77,000. टाइम्स लिखना जरूरी है. टाइम्स लिखना जरूरी है भैया. As an Indian, do you know an analysis about Indian? Do you know a fact about Indians? We are very good at maths. As an Indian, no, this is a fact. Indians are good at maths. That's why see your interest, how it has come up. We are good at maths. It is in our blood. Hmm. Correct. Very good. It is not about how much you understand. It is about your interest also. 99% of the times it is about your interest. Yes. Are we all good? Oh, what is the next ratio? Sorry. Net net profit ratio. Net profit to net worth. Yes. So again, cross hybrid, net worth is a balance sheet item. Net worth, how do you calculate net worth? The total amount which is there for the equity owners, that is called net worth. What is net worth? How much is a business worth? And obviously business has to worth for whom? For its owners. And who are owners? Equity. So that is called net worth. If you wish, you can write down net worth is the worth of the business for its owners. Net worth means the worth of the business for its owners. Net worth is worth of the business for its owners. ठीक है, right? So net profit to net worth, it is already given. And again, by A by C rule, A by B rule also, and also by cross hybrid, it is the same. Net profit is P&L, net worth is balance sheet. So how much is net profit here? 15,000. So it is not an operating profit, it is a net profit. So here also it will be 17,000, right? Yes, divided by net worth. Here net worth is 1 lakh. Here net worth is how much? 1,17,000. See again, why you're including debt? Worth to the owners, net worth. Yes, because this is a P&L item, P&L ratio, or we want to show it is in percentage, we can show it in multiply by 100. So that is 15%. Sorry. Yeah, it's a cross hybrid now. अरे अन्ना परसेंटेज खाली इसलिए लेते हैं कि है ना, उसको अगर परसेंटेज 100 मल्टीप्लाई बाय 100 इसीलिए करते हैं क्योंकि उसको परसेंटेज में दिखाना है बस. Every ratio is in times. Every ratio is in times. Only if you have to convert the times in percentage, you multiply by 100. Simple. टाइम्स में कर सकते हो, नहीं तो ये कितना हो जाएगा? 0.15 टाइम्स हो जाएगा. सॉरी, how much it is? Oh, sorry. ठीक है, all ratios are in times only. Every ratio is in times. In this one also, if you don't multiply by percentage, what would be the answer? 0.15. So that is 0.15 times. Only if you have to depict that into a percentage, multiply by 100. That's it. Correct, Gada? Shut. Okay. Yes. Now in the institute book, I believe they have done a mistake, because in the institute book, if you look at the answer, they have taken 19,000 by 1,17,000. Yes. So that means we are correct. We are correct. Why? The word uses net profit. Net profit is obviously after minus interest. Net profit is obviously after minus interest, because they have find out a wrong answer because they have taken 19,000 which is before interest. So our answer, that 14.5, is correct answer. Okay, seventh one. Next one, sir. Sorry, receivable collection period. Now this we will do in two parts. This we will do in two parts. Guys, please understand. This is a very important understanding for you. Yes. This is very important understanding, because this will also be this is a collection period now. So there are three ratios. One is debtor turnover ratio, one is debtor velocity, and then the third one is receivable collection period. The three ratios, basically it could be debtor sometime, it could be stock sometime, it could be creditor sometime, whatever it is, but there are three categories. One is called normal, that is debtor turnover, then velocity, and then collection. Are we all good? Let us first see what is debtor turnover. This they have given, but we'll make a bit into this. We'll first find out what debtor. We'll first find out what, dear? Debtor turnover ratio. We'll find out. So how much is my debtor turnover ratio? Yes, please tell me. Credit sales by debtors. Why credit sales? Why not total sales? Because cash sales का debtor से क्या लेना देना? Second item. Sir, why sales? It should be cost na. Debtors are at cost or selling price. So even the sales is at selling price. So that's why selling price. Done. Are we all good here? So first find out debtor turnover ratio, A bit. We are not doing collection as of now, only debtor turn. So how much is it? Debtor is given as 50,000, I believe. First item 50,000, 82,000 respective years. How much that would be? Similarly for next year also, please tell me. 2 lakh, how much? How much it is? 4 point. ठीक है, ये आ गया. ठीक, आ जाओ. इसका मतलब क्या है ये बताओ. What is the meaning of this debtor turnover ratio? Please tell me. Absolutely wrong. छोटा wrong नहीं है, बड़ा wrong है. For every 100 rupees we are doing the cycle. Operating cycle is for all assets, all current assets, current liability put together. So you have broken down your cycle into item wise. Stock turnover, only stock cycle. Now give an input, no? ठीक है. You will be scolded in the class, you will be appreciated in the class. Both comes, right? Don't think everything would be goody goodies. That is not the how life operates. So what happens? There's an overall operating cycle which includes all current assets, all current liabilities. Now I want only individual. And what is individual? Here, which individual cycle we are looking into? Data. So what does it mean? I am not repaying. Time to collect it. Debtors means collection नहीं. ठीक है. Repaying will come in creditors, not debtors, right? So now what is happening? I am doing a sales of 2,70,000, and I am having a 50,000 rupees debtor at a given point of time in a period of 12 months. That is what the balance sheet period is ना. 12 महीने में the total sales is 2,70,000 and 12 महीने का closing debtor is 50,000. That means 5.4 times is the cycle rotation. Again, that means in a year debtors are rotated 5.4 times. That means in a year 5.4 times a customer has come to me. I sold him the goods. He stayed for 2.5 months. After 2.5 months, he paid me back. Again purchased. Likewise, in a year, this cycle has been repeated how many times? This is a cycle duration. Duration I cannot say because duration has to be calculated in a month or a hour or a day's basis. But this is number of times the cycle is there. So that's why it is times. Now understand, this is a ratio, it is in time. Is it duration? No. But in a cycle, how many times the cycle has rotated? 5.4 times. Is the cycle improved? Yes. From 2009 to 2010, the cycle improved from 5.4 to 4.17. Shorter the cycle, better the experience. Shorter the cycle, better the experience ना. जितना साइकिल आप अपने डेटर को साल में एक बार देखना चाहोगे, साल में बार बार देखना चाहोगे? अरे भाई एक बार आएगा तो साल में एक बार सेल करेगा, 12 महीने के बाद पैसे देगा ना. करेक्ट नो. तो शॉर्टर द साइकिल बेटर नो. If suppose the cycle is only one, debtor turnover ratio is only one, so that means 12 times you are able to rotate your debtors. For a 10,000 rupees debtors, you will be able to do a sales of 1,20,000. For a 50,000 rupees debtor, he should have actually done a sales of 6 lakhs, but he only did a sales of 2,36,000. Like, take an example. For a policy, you say I am giving credit for 30 days. We will calculate that 30 days. That is what the question is. Collection period. We will have some target collection period. What should be the ideal collection period? Guys, please answer. What should be the ideal collection period? 0. Nobody wants to make the credit sales. We all want cash. In Marwadi dukans, you will be written Aaj nagad kal udhar. I believe you know, understand the meaning, right? So now we want this collection period to be as short as possible. Still, let us take the market standard is 30 days. Okay? And if your debtors are all prompt, all timely paying, yes, again, only theory it will be there. Okay? So all timely paying, then how many cycles it will be? 12 cycles. Each month one cycle, 12 cycles. So what would be debtor turnover ratio in that case? 12. समझ में आया नहीं आया? नहीं आया? Now you know why you were wrong. So please understand, 30 days is my collection period for an example. Now if 30 days is my collection period, obviously how much should be my what is my data turnover cycle should be? 12 cycles I should be able to complete. I should be able to complete how many cycles? 12 cycles. That is what the purpose is. In the 2009, how many cycles I am completing? 5.4 cycles. So that means how many days credit I am offering? Simple, sir. 365 by 5.4 if you want in days. If you want in month, 12 by 5.4. Ante kada. Logically, is it set in your mind? Mathematically, they gave you a formula. That formula will also I will tell you. But are we all good here? Yes, no, no, yes. Sure? Yes. Okay. You can call this as velocity, you can call this as collection period, you can call whatever you like. But in my layman's term, it is simple. कितनी जल्दी उधार कलेक्शन हो रही है. मार्केट की भाषा में रोटेशन कितना फास्ट है. Faster the rotation, better would be the profits. Correct? Yes, are we all good? Now, how do I calculate this second one? Now, let us come to the B bit, that is your actual question. What is collection period? So, can I say collection period is nothing but period divided by debtor turnover ratio. Can I say this or not? Now if you want period in days, you take numerator 365. You want period in months, you take it 12. Okay, so I take it 365 divided by 5.4. Again you take 365 divided by, how much would be here? Okay, when you refer institute study material, no, they will give you a fancy formula. Let us see that fancy formula. So they will say, now answer is completed here, huh? Right? Please hold on your pens, no, I will just give you, my answer is completed. Okay, data collection period, they will give you a fancy formula. Yes, I will use this formula only, that fancy formula. Period divided by credit sales by debtors. Again, make it into simple equation. Then it would be what? Debtor by credit sales into 365, or you can say into period. Right? Now the problem here is, people who are good, people who are critics, I will not say whether good or bad critic. If I say debtor collection period formula is this, people will come to me with eggs and tomatoes. Sir, you only told cross hybrid, it is against cross hybrid, balance sheet is in the numerator, PNL is in the denominator. मैं बोला ना, it is not a ratio. First of all, second of all, the purpose is different. Third of all, ICI masala, ICI never taught in the book कि this is the process. They directly gave a फॉर्मूला दे दिया ना, सो इसमें आप नंबर्स डाल दो, हो जाए. सो कॉन्सेप्ट बिल्डिंग नहीं होगा स्टूडेंट का. So if suppose you do it directly this way, na, it is okay. You will get marks in the exam. You will get everything. That's okay. But concept building will not happen. How the concept building will happen? This way, the concept building will happen. Are we all good? So that's what I told you. I'm more focused on concept building because I don't know. Even if you crack through a CA inter in the mathematical form, CA final, to with the new proposed scheme of 2022 only you have to do, wherein the 8 papers of CA inter has become 6 papers. Final also there is a reduction. So that's how now discussion has started right away. We cannot hold. See, even after telling, they are not able to hold. I'm referring to you guys. Okay. So that's why the things are very simple. Data collection period. So data collection period would be period divided by the data turnover ratio. If you resolve it further, it looks like this. But now I always in my exams have solved the first way. I first find out turnover separately, then I find out collection, then why did collection period by turnover, that 360 by 5.4 ऐसे करके I have found out. Now it is your, but my job I have done, I have taught you the concept. Are we all good with this problem? Yes. Yes. Any doubts? सॉरी, मैं उस टाइम पे आपको गलत बोल दिया. ये साइकिल बड़ी होनी चाहिए, ये नंबर ऑफ रोटेशन नहीं है, ये टाइम्स. ठीक है, डन. राइट. तो आपके केस में इसमें साइकिल है ना, जितना बड़ा रहेगा उतना अच्छा. वही है, मैं मुझे वही बोला ना. अच्छा, दिस इज नॉट अ साइकिल, दिस इज टाइम्स. हाँ, तो करेक्ट है, मैं करेक्ट ही बोला आपको. इट इज ओके. Phrase I used is lower the cycle, better the thing. But this 4.5 is not a cycle. If you would have understood कि 4.15 is a cycle, then it is wrong. Cycle तो जितनी छोटी हो उतना अच्छा है. Quickly you collect better, no? So that is cycle. So one cycle happens in 35 days. तो इसकी साइकिल्स कितनी है, एक कितने साइकिल्स हो रहे हैं, दैट यू हैव टू कैलकुलेट, दैट इज वेलोसिटी. साइकिल कैलकुलेशन बताऊं आपको, दैट इज, रुको, आपकी इसमें साइकिल कितनी है पता है, एक साल में कितनी साइकिल हो रही है? ओ सॉरी, फिर ये आके मेरा करेक्ट है, collection period is longer, that's not good. Collection period should be shorter. In order to have a shorter collection period, your cycle should be more. Correct? No, cycle should be more. हाँ, तो साइकिल ज्यादा होनी चाहिए. साइकिल ज्यादा होने के लिए आपके पास ज्यादा सेल्स होनी चाहिए. ठीक है, हाँ तो करेक्ट ही है. तो गलत प्रॉब्लम, डाउट क्या है तेरा? तू मेरे को क्यों क्यों? अच्छा ठीक है भाई, 2009 इज बेटर देन 2010, हो गया. Okay. The judgment is times, if it is higher is good. So because times refers to cycle, higher the cycles, because this times is cycle, so higher the cycle, lower is the collection period. Right? Write down. Write down. Higher the cycle, lower the collection period, better the profitability. Higher the cycle, lower the collection period, better the profitability. Now we'll say how the profitability will be better, sir. More sales will result in more profitability, na? And if you are able to find out a way to reduce the cycle, then you will find out the better way of making the profits also. Then you will say, sir, how should I reduce, how should I increase the number of cycles? Then you have to wait for working capital chapter. There you have specifically something called as receivable management. Yes, you will have receivable management. I'll give you one small way. What you will do is, if suppose your profitability is, if you want to reduce the cycle, then you can offer discount कि भैया 30 days में if you make a payment, I will give you a discount. Then your cycle would improve, people will start giving you payment earlier, then you will be able to make a better sales. So that there are so many ways, so that we'll see in receivable management. But whether to give a discount is a profitable or not, that also you have to make a judgment. So all that will come in receivable management. ठीक है, thank you. चलो. Now I just wanted to show you a video. Just look at that video and tell me what do you understand by looking at this video. Okay.
How old are you?
I'm 20.
You're doing a great job. Well done.
Thank you.
What's your value in dresses you have in the business, please?
Around $200,000.
Where are you warehousing these?
This is run out of my house at the moment.
You must have an extraordinarily large wardrobe.
I've converted nearly every room in my house to somehow store some.
Your parents must be very accommodating.
Oh, they're incredibly supportive.
So let's talk about the revenue so far. So just say the last 3 or 4 months, month by month, what's your revenue been?
35, 35 and 36.
1,000.
Yes.
And what's your costs against that?
Across our profit, it runs at around 55% of revenue.
Did you take a wage?
Not at the moment.
No wage?
All
okay,
of the revenue that is coming in is reinvested back into the business.
Let's understand this video. We'll show this video one more time, and then I will just give you the information brief. So that lady has a stock of $200,000. Yes, that is what they said. They also mentioned that she is operating at a gross profit level, or you can say the operating profit level of 55% of turnover. That is revenue. Yes, they also said that their sales of last 3 months, month 1, $35,000, month 2 $35,000, and month 3 $36,000. And after she has given this number and this number, everybody went silent. So was that good or bad? Was it situation or oh situation? Very good. So one answer I am getting it correct. There is so much of stock and very less sales. So what does it refers? Can you calculate that? Very good. Stock turnover ratio, so you can calculate it. Can you try doing it for her business? Yes. Can you try doing it for her business? I believe this will be on the cost basis. Yes. And she already mentioned this is all selling price basis. First you have to reduce this selling price to cost basis. So what would be the cost minus the operating profit? You will get the cost. So operating profit is how much? 55%. So please do it. Yes, directly I will have cost as 45%. Tell me the numbers please. 15, 15,750, 15,750, 16,200. So this is for, please add it, we'll get 1 quarter revenue. A quarter consists of 3 months, not a quarter. 47,000, right? This is 1 quarter revenue. 1 year revenue would be into 4. 1 lakh. Yes, this is cost of goods sold. I am so proud of you. Should I tell you very much? I'm so proud of you. This is, I believe, the 4th class, and you are able to solve a business case study. This is a business case study which you are solving, and you are giving the right numbers. I'm so proud of you. Now, why there was a O situation? Look at stock turnover. Yeah, I will take answers. अरे अन्ना, that's okay. पहले अभी जो करंट पोजीशन तो यही है ना, आज की बात करो. यस सर, वो पैसा दे देगा तो मैं स्टॉक ऊपर भाग जाएगा, सेल्स ऊपर भाग जाएगा. पैसा देगा जब ना. उसकी पोजीशन तो आज ऐसी है कि खुद अपनी खुद काम कर रही है, उसकी सैलरी भी नहीं ले रही. बोली खुद एक वीडियो में, आर यू टेकिंग वेज एट द मोमेंट? नो सर, नॉट एट द मोमेंट बोली. हाँ, अपने घर को ही उसने रूम में वार्डरोब बना दिया. बताओ, ऐसी पोजीशन है बंदी की. And then if suppose she start taking wages, if suppose she start taking a warehouse, the cost will go up, the revenues will go down, the profitability will go down. See, that's what case study. Being optimistic is good, but investors has to balance out everything. ठीक है, अब बताओ उसका stock turnover ratio क्या है? Yes, numerator is less than denominator. How much? इसका मतलब 1 साल में उसका पूरा स्टॉक भी नहीं बिकेगा. अगर उसको करंट स्टॉक आज बिजनेस बंद कर देना, 1 साल से ज्यादा टाइम लगेगा पूरा स्टॉक बेचने में. हमारा बंदा तो स्टॉक कन्वर्जन रेशियो भी कैलकुलेट करके बैठा है. स्टॉक कन्वर्जन डेज. अरे बाप रे, आई एम प्राउड ऑफ यू. सो ही इज गोइंग टू टेक 365 by 0.95. Sorry, how much? 384 days that sweet lady is going to take in order to liquidate her inventory. Is the business in the good position? Yes. Is the ratio understanding important for you to understand a business? Yes. Am I making a correct point to you? Yes, very important. That's what. Okay. If you have liked it, you can have claps for your own self. So I should basically clap for you. So within just 4 days now you have come to that level. So I've done this as an experiment to show you whether you relate it to or not. If suppose you would have acted like a mimosa, the word of the day is mimosa. You know what is a mimosa? That is mimosa. ठीक है. So if because you have not acted as mimosa, my enthusiasm is also at a peak. ठीक है. Are we all good? Yes. Let's go to the next problem. 2A. So okay. Sometimes question students will come to me and say, sir exam में video देगा क्या? नहीं देगा ना. Why are you wasting my time? But then it is not that interesting. ये पूरा question वही तो है. See, understand, you are this person is saying apart from video you can give me in theoretical. These all questions are what, that is what you can convert the same question into a video format. But see the interest levels, sir. Why do you need a faculty to teach you? Everything is given in the books. Why don't you go and study yourself? You like an actor, no? Jack Sparrow. ठीक है. Question 2A. Yes. Oh, 1B is also there. Sorry, I forgot. Question 1B, please. I forgot there was question 1B. ठीक है. Question 1B, please. ठीक है. Can we go ahead? Right? Okay. Capital structure 9% preference capital. 1 second. Let me just see if there are any live streaming doubts. Anna, live streaming in doubts or nahi? Okay. ठीक है. चलो. Yes. Question 1B. So capital structure 9% preference capital 3 lakhs. Capital structure 80,000 equity shares at 10 each 8 lakhs. Done. So total capital is how much, dear? 11 lakhs. Right. Additional information, profit after tax at 30%. So tax rate is 35%. Is 2,70,000. Depreciation, that is a fixed cost 60,000. Equity dividend paid 20%. Means 20% of the is been paid as a equity dividend. Right. Market price of the share is 40. First question, dividend yield on equity shares. Dividend yield on equity shares. Can we start solving this? Very simple problem, sir. Let's do it. Yes. Can we start solving this? Yes. Dividend is always paid on face value. We are all correct. We know this or not? Dividend is paid as a percentage of face value or will is paid as a face value. So first one. Dividend yield. The word yield is used. So that means you have to find out the yield on current scenario. Current scenario, right? So what would be dividend yield? That is equity dividend. Equity dividend divided by equity dividend divided by right. Yes, because it is an yield, it has to be in percentage. How much is dividend yield? He says that 20% of what, face value. Obviously, no. Divided over what is market price per share? 40 into 100. So it will be what? 2 rupees by 40 into 100. So that turns out to be 5%. Second bit. Dividend coverage ratio. dividend coverage ratio. Now, before I take it, let me just write down the formula and then I will tell you how this has come. Is there a preference shares given separately? Is there a preference shares given? Yes, no? Yes. Who has a preference over dividend? Preference shares or equity shares? So let me first find out preference shares coverage and then I will find out equity shares coverage separately. Right? Now, first of all, what is the meaning of coverage? What is the meaning of coverage? Let's take an example, sir. Hypothetically, I have 1 lakh rupees of profit and I'm making an interest payment of 10,000. So what is my interest coverage? 10 times? Yes or no? Because I'm making profit 10 times of my interest payouts. Yes. So you have understood cover. So how bigger cover you have? Yes. What is your dimensions of body? Maybe 6 feet by 2 feet or 1 feet. Okay. But what is the size of blanket you wear when you sleep? 1 by 6 or at least larger than that? Why do you like to have a larger blanket than your body dimensions? Because you will cuddle, you will go here, you will go there, that side in the night. So you need a little bigger blanket so that you will be still be covered. That means you are covering yourself for risk during the night time. That too for as simple as sleep. So then the person who has given you loan, won't he look for any coverage? Arey bhaiya, if you are earning the exact amount of how much interest you have to pay me, then a small curdle will derail the interest payments, correct? So that's why what we are supposed to do, what we are supposed to do, my dear friends, we are supposed to find out coverage ratios for all payouts, all fixed payouts at least, or fixed payouts we should have a coverage ratio. Is the preference dividend fixed payout? Yes. So how much is my preference dividend? They have mentioned already in the question. So it says 9% of how much capital? 3 lakhs, right? So 9% of 3 lakhs, that is my total dividend payment. That would stand to how much? 27,000. How much is the profit available for those dividends? After tax, before tax? After tax only, na? Yes. How much it is? That is nothing but PAT, profit after tax. So how much is my coverage? 10 times. Is the preference shareholders have enough blanket to sleep? Imagine, no? Does the preference shareholders have enough blanket to sleep? Sleep, yes, they have enough. 10 times larger than their dimension they have. Correct? Simple. You can also take one more example here. Yes, which is not that personal. So sometimes people, when you take personal example, they get hurt. Now, the car width, the standard car width is not more than 2 meters. But a lane markings, one single lane marking would be at least 4 meters. Can't they make the roads wider by just reducing the width? Yes or no? Can they make the road wider for more cars to go, more lanes? Can they make the more lanes in the road by just making more smaller lanes? 2-meter car, 2-meter lane. Then you need to have a perfect robotic driver, which will not take a simple curve. But you know Indian driving, right? So that's why they give them कि भैया थोड़ा broader दे देते हैं. Yes. ठीक है. Next one, sir. Equity coverage ratio, that is A. So one more dividend we are paying, that is equity dividend also we are paying, equity dividend coverage ratio. How much is equity dividend we are paying, sir? We are paying 2 per share into number of shares is 80,000, I believe. So we have a equity dividend of 1,60,000. This is my equity dividend. Yes, so my coverage ratio is again same thing, profit available to equity divided by equity dividend. So my profit available to equity is 2,70,000 or lower. Why? Preference has to be paid out. So that is 2,70,000 minus 27,000. Then divided by 1,60,000. How much the number would be, sir? 1.52 times, as our learned student tells. Okay. If no objection comes in, we'll accept your answer. So who is in more comfortable position to sleep? Preference or equity? But still, it is not that equity people are being put out to drain, right? So still they have comfortable to go ahead. Please make a note, sir. Done. This is the third ratio, EPS. They have asked us to find out EPS. That should be pretty simple. Same earnings. The last one. Now what is price earning ratio? Price earning ratio in a simple term means how much money to be invested in order to earn 1 rupee. 1 रुपया कमाने के लिए कितना पैसा लगाना पड़ेगा एक कंपनी में? How much to be invested in order to earn 1 rupee? In order to earn, are we all good? So how much you have to invest today in a company, that is market price. If suppose you have to become an owner of a company, you have to invest in a market price. How much you are market price per share? How much you are earning per share? That should be in the denominator. That means 40 divided by 3.04. That means, any answers? 13.2 rupees to be invested in a business in order to earn 1 rupee. Yes, that's called price earning ratio. Are we all good? How much to be invested, my dear friends? 13.2 rupees to be invested in a business in order to earn 1 rupee. So price earning ratio is 13.2 times of earning. So price is 13.2 times of the earning. So please tell me, theoretically speaking, lower the price earning ratio, better. If suppose you find a company where the price earning ratio is 2, that means 2 रुपए लगा रहे हो 1 रुपया कमा रहे हो. That means the EPS would be 10 rupees for a market price of 20 rupees. Very good business, na? Yes or no? Yes. Are we all good? Up to CA inter level, this is okay. But when you go to CA final, the operations or the understanding will change. If you practically go and see the company's PE ratio today, it would be pretty high, very high. And higher the PE ratio, investors would be more eager to invest in the companies with a higher PE ratio. Generally, I'm talking about. ठीक है? Yes, are we all good? Done? Write down, sir. Okay, guys, let us come to question 2A. Yeah, right. Following is the abridged balance sheet of Alpha Limited. Share capital 1 lakh, profit and loss account 17,000, current liabilities 40,000. Right. On the asset side, you have land and building which is not depreciable 80,000. Plant and machinery depreciable 50,000 minus 15,000, 35,000. Stock 21, debtor 20, bank 1,000. Total of the assets and liability is 1,57,000. With the help of the following information furnished below, you are required to prepare the profit and loss account for the company and the balance sheet, right, of 31st March 2005. The following went in for reorganization of capital structure with share capital remaining the same as follows. Share capital, how much? 50%. Other shareholders fund 15%, debentures 10%, and creditors 25%. So what does it mean? The total liability side he has given you. So what does he say in the total liability side? So total liability side, whatever number it is, suppose 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, whatever it is, the percentages of the each item would be like this. If suppose the total liability side of a balance sheet is, suppose for an example 1 lakh, so 50,000 would be for equity share capital, 15,000 would be for other, that is like preference shares or something, right? Then 10,000 you will have debentures, and balance to 25,000 you will have current liabilities, that is creditor. So that structure he has given. So new balance sheet you have to make. Then debentures were issued on 1st April, interest being paid annually on 31st March, right? Land and building remained unchanged, उसमें कुछ change नहीं हुआ. Additional plant was purchased and a further 5,000 depreciation were written off. The total fixed cost then constitute 60% of the total gross fixed and current asset. मतलब total assets total, whatever the, suppose the total asset total is again 1 lakh, of that the total fixed assets is how much, including land and building and plant and machinery, 60%, that is 60,000. Are we all good? ठीक है. Working capital ratio, rate is to 5. Working capital is nothing but current assets by current liability. Again quick assets is 1:1. Debtor 4/5 of the quick asset to sales revealed a credit period of 2 months. There were no cash sales. Return to net worth is 10%. Gross profit at the rate of 15% of selling price. Stock turnover ratio was 8 times. मतलब stock turnover is 8. Ignore taxation. It is easy problem, sir. Let's do it. Let's make a balance sheet first and then we'll proceed further. Given data. ठीक है. Again, I told you presentation plays a very important role. Now, what was the presentation which I taught? Give the examiner what he wants. So, what is the basic conclusion of this or basic understanding of this question? What examiner wants you to make balance sheet and a profit and loss ना? तो सबसे पहले balance sheet ही बना दो. First front पे balance sheet डालो. Sir, we don't know the numbers. Each number has to be calculated. That's okay. That's okay. No, there's no problem with that number. We'll solve the numbers. But the first page should be balance sheet, and subsequently you can also have a P&L also. ठीक है ना? Yes. Once you have made the balance sheet, then projected profit and loss account. So this should be on the first page. Then first or second page, depending on how much space you are taking. Basically, I will say one page you make balance sheet. I am talking about the examination presentation. Second page you make the P&L, and third page onwards you basically start solving the problem. Okay? Are we all good? Okay. Let us just plot the given data. He says share capital would be 50%. Is that given data? Let me use a different ink. Share capital is 15%. Now go back to your balance sheet which is given in the question. Would you be able to see any preference share capital there? No, na. What does it mean? 15% he says there is something else. Right? So then that is other shareholder funds he says. So that means it is the same number which the same name which he has given, the same name will take profit and loss account. The profit and loss account. Then you will have some 5% debenture. Are we all good here? Yes. Then comes on the land and building side or the asset side. I'm just plotting the given data. अभी मैंने आंसर स्टार्ट करना भी सॉल्व नहीं किया है. Land and building, bigger problem, no? It will take time. So what does it say? Unchanged. Clearly mentioned unchanged. So can I say 80 ka 80? I don't know the percentage. I am leaving it blank. So can I write down 80,000 ka 80,000 straight away? Then there is plant and machinery. Obviously there are some additions, something you get less depreciation. You get some number, you will put it here, then you will get a total fixed assets. Is it given as 60%? Question mentioned, is it 60%? Yes, any other information which we can plot? Then you will have current assets which is divided into how many parts? This would be a balancing figure, na? If suppose non-current asset is 60%, then the current asset would be 40%. Is there any bigger issue? No, no. Yes. Tell me, guys. What are the items which are given in current assets? Stock, debtors, cash and bank, cash bank, whatever. Done. Any other information given? Any other information given? Can I start solving it, please? Can I start solving it? There are few ratios which are given. We will use as and when it is required. Major information we have it. Now, first come to the share capital. First item first. What is the information on share capital? Have they mentioned it is going to change, not change? Any ratio given as to share capital? Nothing. So share capital is going to remain same. 1 lakh, 1 lakh. Yes or no, dear? Share capital will remain change. 1 lakh to 1 lakh. Now, but one thing we know, I can just put as a working note. Let's see how many working notes will go. Working note number 1. That should be technically your third page. Right? So what should working note says? If the share capital by total liabilities is equal to 50%. So now total liabilities is equal to 1 lakh divided by 0.5, that is. Are we all good? Guys, are we all good? Yes. So have we got the total of our balance sheet? With the help of working note 1, have we got the total of my balance sheet to 2 lakhs? Yes or no? And we know a balance sheet is a balance sheet only when the assets matches. So liabilities will also, assets will be how much? 2 lakh ka 2 lakh. Yes or no? Then we know this is 60%. The total number should be how much? 1,20,000. Yes. Please wait. Let me solve. I will give you time to write. Understand first. Once we know that it is 1,20,000, then we know 80,000 is land and building. So that means the plant and machinery would be 40,000. Yes or no? Balancing figure. Here in this, it is given. Let us take one assumption, one information by one by one. We will take care of this first working note. These ratios are given. Can I just take care of the first working note, please? Yes, sir. Please take care. 1 lakh is done. Then profit and loss should be how much? 15% of this one would be 30,000. Already existing profit is 17,000. It is already given na in the balance sheet. So how much profit is increased during the year? So that is new profit. Correct? Let me name this as working note number 4. Why 4, sir? This is working note number 2. This is working note number 3. Yes, so that's why, or you can name this as 2 first. Let us solve this first. Then you take this as 3. Then you take this as 4. Right? एक काम करो, वर्किंग नोट बाद में डालेंगे, पहले इसको ही ले लो. E4. How much would be 5% debenture? 20,000. How much would be this one? 50,000. Is my balance sheet side complete? Liability side complete? Perfectly complete. Yes, perfectly complete. Now come to the asset side. This 2 lakhs will become 2 lakhs. So this is I have taken as a like 1/5 working note. Right? If you wish to make a note later, we'll make all the notes later. But is it the 5th one? Then 5th, say we moved on to 6th one. Is it the 6th one? Right? right? Now from the sixth one, can you calculate this depreciation as seventh one? Why? They have already mentioned the depreciation would increase by 5,000. So first working note we have taken care. Second working note we have taken care by adding 5,000 and 60%. Yes, all the information, we are exhausting the information which is given to us in the P&L. So this will become 20,000, right? So 40 plus 20 is how much? 60,000. This is what? Balancing figure. This is a balancing figure. Done? Are we all good? Yes or no, guys? Are we all good? Yes. Make a note so far. So far, make a note. Right? If you have made balance sheet so far, right? Can we go ahead and look at the other information which is given in the question? Working capital ratio 8 is to 5. So make a working note here. Working note number 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Which one is going on? Huh? 8. Working capital ratio. Right? So that is current assets by current liability. How much is my current asset? I don't know. X. How much is my current liability? 50,000. How do you know it is 50,000? You have creditors as the only item in current liabilities. So when you have only creditors as the only item in current liabilities, then it is only one item. 8 by 5, right? It is 8 by 5. So tell me how much is would be current asset? 80. Solve this equation. It will be 80,000. Sir, there is one more way of finding out current assets. 2 lakhs minus 120 also you can do. But ठीक है, ratio दिया है तो he wants us to use it. ठीक है ना? So you should not offend the examiner. So ठीक है sir. Now next item 9, quick ratio. Let us use all information. What is quick ratio? Current assets minus stock divided by current liability is equal to how much it has been given to you? 1. 1 by 1 is 1. Yes. So current assets is 80,000 minus stock divided by 50,000. How much is your stock number? 30,000. Yes or no, guys? Yes. Continue. I'm just changing the color of the ink because I believe in the recording it will look very light. ठीक है. Working note number 10. Yes. Stock turnover ratio. Is it given to you as 8? So 8 is equal to cost of goods sold. Correct na? Stock is cost, so that also has to be cost by stock should be there. So now then that means COGS is equal to 50,000 into 4 lakhs. Oh, sorry, stock is 30,000. Sorry, guys, sorry. 2 lakh 2,40,000 is my cost of goods sold. Oh, sir, in this problem there is a institute's mistake. I'm telling you upfront. I will calculate the stock sales as per receivable management also. That is debtors management. Let us see debtor turnover ratio. Is it given to you debtor turnover ratio? Yes. Before we calculate debtor turnover ratio, then first of all let us calculate debtors first. So debtors is given as 4/5 quick assets. Right? So how much is your quick assets? 4/5 into total current assets is 80,000 minus stock 30,000. So that means my debtors are 40,000. Right? 12th. Before I go to 12th working note, can I update my balance sheet or do you want to write? Please, if you wish to make a note, please write it down. No problem. Write it down. We'll also discuss what is the institute problem here. ठीक है? Done. Quick ratio is done. Stock turnover is done. Debtors calculation is done. Are we all good? Are we all good? Let me please go back and complete my balance sheet, please, because now I have enough information to complete my balance sheet. Can I do it? Yes. Let me just go to my balance sheet. So at least let me get 50% of the marks which I want. So 50% would be for balance sheet, 50% would be for P&L. My stock stands to 30,000. My debtor stands to 40,000. My total current assets stands to how much? 80,000. So 80,000 minus this cash would be 10,000 balancing figure. So is my balance sheet complete, dear? Yes. So my balance sheet complete. So only for this completion I have come up. Again I will go down to my working notes. If you are very sincere, please make a note, working note reference, working note number 8 and then working note number 11. 11 na? 9. Working note number 9, working note number 11. Done. Can I go down, guys? Can I go down? Okay. Now they have given one ratio. Again, let me just also go back to the question and let's see what all the information is left out. I have taken working capital, I have taken quick ratio, I have taken debtors, this thing. Now return to net worth 10%, gross profit 15, and even I have taken the stock turnover ratio of 8 times. Yes. Now this 2-month wala I have to take. Debtors to sales ratio revealed at credit period of 2 months. So that means your collection period is 2 months. Simple, no? There is no cash sales. He has clearly mentioned no cash sales. So whatever sales is credit sales. Yes. Can I name this as debtor collection period? Yes. We have been already know that debtor collection period is debtors by credit sales, which is total sales in this case, because there is no cash sales, into 12, because the number is given in months. 2 months they are saying, so that's why I'm taking 12, not 365. Got it? Yes. So debtor just now we calculated 40,000 divided by credit sales we don't know, so I can now rewrite it as total sales into 12, and this is equal to 2. So it would be what? Total sales is equal to 40,000 into 6, I believe. So that is 2,40,000. Now cost of goods sold is not equal to sales because they have given GP at 15%. So technically now cost of goods sold would be sales minus GP. That is nothing but sales minus 15% of sales. That is 2,40,000 minus 36,000. That means, right now obviously question will arise in your mind, sir, what happened? Stock is 30. They have mentioned stock turnover ratio is 8 times. So 8 into 30,000 should be 2,40,000, should be cost of goods sold. But now if you are doing the same calculation using debtors, I'm getting a different number. This should not be possible. Yes, this is a study material problem. So luckily I am safeguarded by this study material problem. Solution is also given in the study material. You can go back and check. Study material has cleverly not shown you the sales through stock turnover ratio. They have already only shown you sales only through debtor turnover ratio. If the students who are only concerned with the solution will not go into concepts, they will not even try to calculate the sales through stock turnover ratio. We have calculated it. Yes, so there is no justification given, but we know what is the concept. Okay, so that is the mistake which has been given in the institute study map. Okay, now can I go back, complete my P&L account here? I have buy sales using working note. Which one? Which working note I will use? Should I use working note number 10 or should I use working note number this thing? I'm solving as per institute publication. Okay. So I'm using institute publication. So I'm using working note 12. If I would have been conceptually doing, I would have used working note number 10. And then I would have shown this as cost. So then 100 by 85 karke I would have found out my sales. Right? To cost of goods sold, that is 2,04,000. So you'll have 2 GP 36,000. GP 36,000. Yes, debenture interest. Can we do the calculation here itself? It is clearly mentioned 5% into 20,000. That is how much? 1,000 rupees. Any other expenditure we have? Any working note on administrating expenses? We don't know. To net profit, can we find out? ठीक है, depreciation everything जो भी लिखना है depreciation लिख लो चलो. 20,000, right? But still, do we have the net profit? There could be any other expenses also, no? To other expenses, is there other expense zero, or how do we find out? Have they given return on net worth one ratio? Yes. Again, we have to go down and do this. This is working note number 13. Please make a note here also that this is working note 12, so this is working note 13. Here the debt interest you have done it there only, so working note number 14. What is working note number 14? Go to the question. See here, it says working. This is also been taken. Return to on net worth is 10%. Return to net worth is 10%. So how much is my net worth? As I already told you, worth to the owners, that is 1 lakh share capital plus reserves and surplus 30,000. One lakh 30,000. Yes. How much is net profit? Is 10% of net worth, na? So that is 13,000. Done. So can I write down 13,000? Do a calculation now. The total is 36,000, of which I have this as 13,000. So how much is a balancing figure? So that is an other expense. In the institute book also, they have not shown depreciation separately in the P&L. They have taken balancing figure 22,000. Okay, but again, these are the two lacunas are there in the ICI material. One, cost of goods sold wala. One, this depreciation not mentioned separately. Done, guys? Yes. Any doubts? Looks to be big problem. Will come for at least 10 marks. At least 10 marks. But easy to solve. Concept building and the carry forward of numbers from one item to the other, and all the items in the balance sheet or in this book we have considered, right? Are we all good? Okay. Please make a note. Done, right? If you want to see the working notes, it is there.